and welcome back to Just Callum. Today we're going to be looking at camping beds. We're going to be looking at hammocks, air beds, big and small. We're going to be looking at put-up beds with the bars underneath, with the stretched material, and of course your trusty roll-out mat. We'll be looking at different aspects of these like warmth, comfort and ease to put up, and then we're going to be working out which bed, not alone in the forest, we're going to be working out which bed is best for every situation and the overall best bed as well. So let's get to it. Right, so I've set up this little hammock that I've used in previous videos, as you've seen. This is the DD hammock if you're interested in it. So how comfortable is a hammock? How warm is a hammock? And how easy was it to set up? Well, I seem to have gained a few pounds. Well, how easy was it to set up? Took me around 5 minutes, so not a lot of time. I had to know certain knots, which does help. So bowline on one end and a trucker's hitch on the other. But easy to set up for me. I found it very easy. For someone a bit less experienced, maybe a bit harder. Comfort, let's have a look. Well, I can safely say this is probably a 9 out of 10 for comfort. This is molded into my back, really comfortable, feet are up in the air, which means naturally I'll fall asleep faster. A gentle swing as well with a beautiful view of the trees above me. I'm in heaven. Now moving on to warmth. Well, it's not very cold today, it's about 21, 22 degrees. But is this warm? Now, the actual thing itself doesn't hold much heat. I did do a tree camp, if you look in my previous videos, 60 feet up. Now, it will be naturally warmer up there because heat rises. So was this warm enough? Short answer, no. It doesn't hold any heat whatsoever. I couldn't get my sleeping bag underneath me when I slept in the tree, so my back froze. There's no heat retention whatsoever. So I'm probably going to have to give this a 2 for heat retention and warmth. So overall, ease of setup, I'd say it's probably around a 6 or a 7. I give this a 9 for comfort and a 2 for warmth. So over the averages, this is its overall score at 30, of course. Okay, let's look at the next one. Right, so we've tested out the DD hammock. So just covering all hammocks. One thing I didn't test was the weight. Now, the weight, because obviously you're going to be carrying this on your backpack or in your arms, what have you. So this, does it say how much it weighs? No, I'd say this is about 2 kilos. So out of all bed systems, as just a bed, it is quite heavy. But it is off the ground, so therefore increases comfort and decreases warmth, as we found out. Okay, so we've done the DD hammock. Next one to look at is this, the camp bed. I'm going to set this up, get on it, and see how it goes. Okay, so bed set up. Let's see how it performs. Right, well, first off, it does rock a bit. Okay, so very comfortable on the back because it molds to the shape of your back. Issue, it's not very wide. So sleeping on your side probably wouldn't be a problem. But on my back, my shoulders and elbows and arms are hitting these metal bars. So it's going to lose points for that. So that's the comfort. It's probably going to get, I'd give it a 7 out of 10 for comfort. Warmth, well, it's not very high off the ground, so you're not going to be up in the trees or have you like a hammock with the warm air, but it is quite thick material. And when I have used it, it has been not cold, but just not warm. So I'll probably give it, as it hasn't got a great deal of heat retention, I'll probably give it a 5. No. Let's be honest. I'll give it a 4. 4 out of 10 for heat retention. And then ease of setup. Well, it literally took me about a minute and a half to set this up. Yes, I have done this before, so it's not an issue in knowing what to do, but it was a bit tough getting the legs in, as it obviously holds the material up with a stretch. So it was a bit stiff. So ease of setup, I'd probably say 6, I think. Easy setup, I give it a 6 because it was quite tight. Now the weight, yes, it doesn't look very heavy like this. When it's in its bag, it does probably weigh about 5 kilos. So strapping this to your bag, carrying it down to a camping spot or onto a camping site, it is quite heavy. So realistically, is this any good for wild camping? No. Okay, so here's the overall score for that then. Cool. Right, on to this, the trusty rollout mat. Okay, so onto the rollout mat. Well, straight away you can see I'm basically on the floor. So laying down, still just on the floor. So comfort-wise, not a great deal. I can just feel solid floor. I've got about 5mm of padding, so it takes any tiny stones or mild discomfort out from the ground. Any sort of neck support, none whatsoever. But it is a pretty good length, so I can give it that. It's a good length. Okay, so comfort, realistically, probably looking at about a 1 on this one. Unfortunately, a little bit of padding, as you expect with a rollout mat, but unfortunately, that does mean that the comfort suffers quite a lot. Warmth, well, reflective padding, straight away, reflects all your heat back towards you, which is ideal. And of course, it is foam, which is a fantastic insulator. So warmth-wise, it actually is quite good. I'd probably give it a good 8 for warmth. It's just a shame it's not thicker, then it would be even warmer. Okay, ease of setup. Well, realistically, I had to take these 2 elasticate straps off and unroll it. So setup is a 10 out of 10 for obvious reasons. And weight, well, I think it weighs about 300 grams at the very, very most. So it's incredibly light. So overall score will be here. Cushy. Right, let's get on to these 2 bad boys. The airbeds, specifically the Trekology Aluft UL50 and the Trekology, again, I'm very reliant on these guys, Trekology Aluft UL80, my personal favourite. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so starting off with this one then, the smaller of the 2, the UL50. Now I call this my bubble wrap bed because it looks incredibly like bubble wrap. But then your weight displaces over it and therefore it creates like a cushion between you and the ground. Let's give it a go. Not like I haven't done this before. Right, well, initially, actually I'm quite comfortable. The padding, because of the way the bubble wrap effect works, I'm completely off the floor, and already I'm starting to feel warmth build up on my back because air is the best insulator. Okay, so very comfortable and a good length as well. Very pleased. Okay, so even sitting on it, you're off the floor. Comfort wise, I'll give this a 7. I'm off the floor. I'm still quite low to the ground, and the bubble wrap does drop at points, but overall, I'm quite comfortable. Warmth, well, as I said, I could already feel the warmth building up on my back. Air is a good insulator, and unfortunately with this, it is pretty much all air. So warmth-wise, I'm going to give that a 7 as well. Ease of use, ease of blow. Well, this took me about 15 seconds to blow it with my mighty lung, singular, my lung. So, sorry, I allude to the fact that I haven't got 1 lung. I have 2, but I am asthmatic, so I refer to my lungs as a singular lung because they're basically doing half the job they should be. Moving on. So, setup, sorry, very easy. Took me about 15 seconds to blow this up, so very, very good. And the weight, I think it's around the 200 to 400 grams mark. So it's very, very light overall. Okay, so here's the overall score for this one. And let's get on to the UL50. This is big brother, the UL80. Let's go. Okay, so the final airbed. Now, as you can see, straight away, I'm well up off the floor, even just sitting on it. So that's a great start for the Trekology UL80. Comfort rating, as before. Oh, yes. Now, this bad boy is a good, solid 10 out of 10. Ugh. Very long, very wide, and because of the design leaning the angle in towards the middle of the bed, it keeps your center of the bed. So you're always going to be supported. Very thick. Warmth. This is the same idea as the UL80 in the sense that it is just one pocket of air, like any airbed. So, warmth. Can I feel my back warming up? A little bit. Okay, so warmth-wise, it is very warm. I would say the last one was, I remember, I think it was a 6 or a 7, wasn't it? So the last one was a 7. This one I'm probably going to give a 5. Not as warm, but still keeps a reasonable amount of heat in. Cool. Ease of setup. Well, this one took me about 2 minutes of love in comparison to the other one. But ease of setup. Yeah, it's a little bit harder than the other one, but it's still just an airbed. Okay, I'll give that I'll give it an 8. I'll give it an 8 because it is very easy to set up. It is just a little bit more oxygen to pop out with the old unilung. Okay, so the last thing then is the weight. Now, because it is thicker, therefore it's more material, therefore it is heavier than the UL50. The UL80 is about 300 to 600 grams range. I can't rightly tell you what it weighs, and it is too much effort to go and look it up. But I can guarantee you, you won't notice it in your bag, just like you won't notice the roll mat, and just like you won't notice the UL50. So, positive in that sense. Okay, so let's do a little review. Okay, so we had the Hammock, which was very good for comfort, not so good for warmth, and ease of setup. It wasn't too bad. We had, and it was vaguely heavy. We had the put-up bed, which was very heavy, quite comfortable, and okay for warmth. We had the 2 air beds, the big one and the small one. Big one obviously more comfy, the small one warmer and lighter. And then finally we had the roll mat. Trusty old roll mat. Now, in second place, probably going to have to give it to this. The trusty roll mat, used for a very, very high number of years by campers all over the world, and shows no signs of being disused now. So in second place is the roll mat. I think, regardless of the scores and the scoring, I think this was probably deserving of that silver medal. Now, the winner for the best bed that you can have for camping specifically, I would give it to this, the UL50. Now, this is just one of the many airbeds you can have, obviously, of this size, but the size and the weight and the type of airbed that it is probably the best out of all of the options I've shown you today. I would only say this because it's light, it's warm, it's very compact, and it's very comfy for what it is as well. So, the Trek UL50. If you haven't got one, get one. Otherwise, get yourself a UL80 if you really want to be comfortable. But that's just the best option you can have, I would say, for a balance of everything. I hope you've enjoyed this video and enjoyed the contents of what I've shown you today. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully you'll be able to use these different reviews of each type of bed to your advantage. And if you are looking to change or to start camping, then hopefully this video has helped. If it has, please drop me a like. Even if you've got to this point, please do drop me a like as well. I really appreciate all the likes and all the interactions. Leave a comment if you think I've missed one, or if you'd like me to review another subject, say torches or sleeping bags. But please do drop me a comment and let me know. Please also do consider subscribing. It really, really helps keep the channel going. So I really appreciate all of you who are subscribed and who will subscribe as well. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.